Welcome back to the JSFL Week 7 and our Thursday night primetime matchup with the 0-6 New York Businessmen and the 4-2 New Orleans Musicians. We will get to New Orleans in a second here, as we have a pretty big matchup mostly for New Orleans, but if the New York Businessmen at any time have gained into the playoffs, they need to start winning now. So pretty big game for both teams, actually. But probably bigger for New Orleans because they actually are in the playoffs here, fighting against the Gila Monsters. They're both at 4-2, but they have the home advantage and are hoping to get an easy win against the team that hasn't got a win yet. But the Businessmen are out on the kill for a win, which I don't even think they're that bad of a win. Bad of a team. They just can't win in the end. Well, here comes out the Musicians, as they're hoping to go 5-2 tonight, which would be a pretty good record. And they're just trying to chase the Kansas City win because they're not even the number one in the division. So they want to be number one in the division. So they're hoping to get a big game here and the win-lose. Which their game this week is against the Wind at the Power. So the Wind have a hard game as well, as they're against Detroit, the other 4-2 team. Well, there's 3 4-2 teams, actually. Leonard Roy is your return man for New Orleans. Still trade rumors going around for him for next season. See if they'll keep him. It's kind of wasted talent on New Orleans, my bad. But here is the kickoff, as New York will send it to the Musicians, as they will start us out here tonight on Thursday night. As they take it out to the 26, we will have their first drive. Now we come to the Steph's guys. 120 completions, 168 attempts, 1,502 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. As he's the only quarterback not to throw an interception this season yet. As that's a pretty good thing. As he's number 10 in the MVP race right now, only number 10. But he's hoping to get higher in this game. Steph's guys on 1st and 10. Throwing, caught on the sideline, as there's a flag on the field after the catch. I think that's unnecessary roughness. Yes, unnecessary roughness on Payne Antoine, the corner from New York. Is that will be added yards to New Orleans' first down catch already. That's a pretty nice way to start out your drive. As we have a 1st and 10 now for New Orleans again. At the opposing 46, is one play and they're already on the other side of the field. Skies, fake handoff, play action, throws it to a check down as he gets it up to the 44, 2 yards on the play. But here we get to see the New Orleans offense. Seth Skies is the leader, and Owen Castles is the backup man. 118 attempts, 549 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 19 broken tackles, and over 50 plus receiving yards in a game, and 1 receiving touchdown. He actually took his halfback spot in the MVP race this week. But this offense is the 6th best in the league. On the top, barely making the top half of the league. Oh, it's incomplete on that one. As now we get to see the 2nd overall defense in the league. It's the Businessmen's. The Businessmen's defense. Number 1, Ronaldo Smith, 35 solo tackles, 27 assists, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, 1 interception, and 2 forced fumbles. And his partner in crime, Eddie Spark, 22 solo tackles, 5 assists, 4 tackles for a loss, 10 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. As those 2 linebackers make for a really hard day for the offense. 3rd and 8 now, as New Orleans needs to convert. What will they do here? Fake handoff, Skies. Throwing. Oh, incomplete. As it will be a 4th and 8, 2 for 4, 15 yards for Seth Skies. As New York shuts them down. Let them get that first big play and then the flag, but will not let them go a single first down from there. So it's nice coverage on the play. I think that was Trolls to get a hand on it. No, that was Trey. Now we have a long field goal attempt. That's gotta be like 61 yards or something. But it is pretty. Oh, it's a little down, and Chicago will have. I mean, gosh dang it, New York will have really good field position. The businessmen do good defense. Can they get the business done now on offense? They're really hoping for a win here because if they get a win, they're probably going to be pretty decently good on the power rankings. But the thing is, they need a win. They have the worst offense in the league, though, so comes in a challenge. 1st and 10 now, though, for the Carl Carrolls in the offense. I forgot to say Carl Carroll stats, but alright, I'll do it right now. 115 completions out of 197 attempts, 1,192 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions for Carl Carrolls. Not the best start, as I told you, he is the captain of the worst offense in the league, but they're hoping to change that in the upcoming weeks. Carrolls with the halfback sweep. It gets nowhere. Evan Flats goes minus 5 yards on that play, as New Orleans playing good defense right now. There's nowhere to go for Flats. As that was snipped out perfectly by the New Orleans defense. And now it's a 3rd and 15. As it'll probably have to go into Carroll's hands. As we're already early in this game. And we have a big 3rd down here. Carroll's on 3rd and 15. Gets the ball. Searching in the pocket. Throwing down deep. Oh, over the head of the receiver. If he would have went a little more to the right, that could have been a big down play. But he misses the receiver. 4th and 15. As they spoil the good field position. As Carroll's tries to launch it deep. But he didn't see the other receiver on the other side. He was a pass to defense. So that could have been a big touchdown play right there for the businessmen. Now we have a 4th and 15. Punting as it goes to the 1. That's great punting by the New York businessmen. I thought it was going to be a touchback, but it was not. I'm seeing where they are, what quarterback has the least amount of passing. I'm pretty sure it's Carroll's, but I do not know. No, they're 11th in the passing yards category. Pirates have the worst. Carl Carroll's isn't even over the worst overall quarterback either. It's far from it. It's like 70-something overall. And now on 1st and 10, we have Cedric Turner, the fullback for New Orleans, getting some yards. He's not the best high overall either, but he powers some yards on that one. As they're trying to get out of the 1-yard line hole, which they do, and they have a little bit of room to make some plays now. As we have 2nd and 4 here for the musicians now. 2nd and 4 with 7:43 in the 1st quarter. Hands it off to Castles. Castles trying to make some room. Gets only 3 yards on the play. As it's a 3rd and 1 now. Kind of got tripped up a little. If he didn't get tripped up, he possibly could have made that a decently bigger play, but he did not go nowhere on that one. He didn't go anywhere, I mean. New Orleans knew they had a challenge going up with the 2nd best defense, but we'll see if they can do it on 3rd and 1. Castles gets the 1st down, twisting and turning up to the 17. 2 rushes, 11 yards for Castles. So it's 8 on that one. New Orleans knows how to make a methodical drive, and here's maybe the start of one for them. As this offense, I think, is pretty underrated. I don't know if 6 is the right spot for them, but there are a lot of good offenses in the JSFL. But New Orleans is a really good team, and I think they can do a lot here in the 2nd half of the season. Seth Skies throwing. Oh, it's incomplete. As that one goes nowhere. It's 2nd and 10 now for New Orleans again. As they got nowhere on that play, so we're going to see what they do on 2nd and 10. At the 17-yard line, trying to get some room. Skies throwing. Oh, batted down. Almost intercepted, possibly. That would have been his first of the season. But it's nowhere. 3rd and 10 now. Can the businessmen stop this drive? Can they get another stop here for New Orleans? Musicians on 3rd and 10. Skies throwing. It's a screen. Oh, and Castles can't go anywhere. He's stuffed behind the line. -3 yards on the play. As they try the halfback screen, but the businessmen were not going to allow it. Antonio Kills and Ronaldo Smith were right on him. As it will be another 4th down for the New Orleans team. Castles stiff arms Smith, but Kills was right behind him. And we have a 4th and 13 situation, as they're going to have to punt from very far inside their own territory. And the punt is away, as it will be taken from inside the 30 as it gets to the 33. Dominic Travi with the punt return on that one. Here comes out the New York offense as they take a little glimpse at Sam Johnson. Sam Johnson used to be the leader for the touchdown receptions, but now he's trailing in that category. 25 receptions, 252 yards, and 5 touchdowns for Sam Johnson on the season so far. Carl Carroll's throwing out 1st and 10. That one's caught. What a nice catch by, I think that's Adam Marshall. No, it's Trey Jackson. Trey Jackson's had a pretty decent season too. He's had 20 receptions, 292 yards, and 1 touchdown for Jackson. Not the best tight end in the league, but not the worst. 2nd and 2 now after the pretty good pickup by the businessmen. Carroll gets the snap, throwing. Oh, incomplete. Up the middle. Tried to find his man on the slant, but nowhere it went. 3rd and 2 now for the businessmen. We'll see if they can do anything on 3rd down. As they haven't shown us the offense yet, so if they don't show us next drive, I might just tell you. And the defense, of course. But we have a 3rd and 2 now. Powering up the middle to 1st down. Evan Flats gets his yards back into the positives, as that's a nice 6-yard gain by the businessmen. As they keep the drive alive, something they're not really known for doing. As Evan Flats does some good old power running up the middle. Hall makes a nice. We gotta credit the O-line on that one too. That was a nice hole, and Hall sealed it off with the taking away the last defender. Now we have another 1st and 10 for the businessmen. Is there maybe getting a little drive of their own here? Carroll's throwing. Oh, it's intercepted. Not one you want to mess with is this New Orleans. McWilliams get in there. The middle linebacker, as I think that is his 1st interception of the season. My bad, trying to get to that. As not trying to place it to his tight end, but McWilliams was right there. And he was not about to let that happen. And turnovers, the musicians are 8th, so they weren't really known for getting the turnovers, but here they are do that now. 1st and 10 at the 50 for the musicians. Seth Skies gets the ball, throwing caught up the middle to the 44. 6 yards on the gain. 5 they're going to call it, as Domingo Gonzalez to get the catch. As he has quite a few catches on the season. Domingo Gonzalez has the most catches on the team with, out of the wide receiver core, with 27. 2nd and 5 now. Castle's right up the middle. It's a 1st down as he get some nice speedy running. 3 rushes and 18 yards for Owen Castles right now. Passing yards, Businessmen have 8 and New Orleans has 17. The Musicians are in Businessman territory and probably in field goal range by now. Now it's a 1st and 10. Skies hands it off to Castles again. Castles, we're doing hard running up the middle, breaking tackles all over the place. He's still on his feet, up to the 19. I think there's like 4 people trying to get him down. 15 yards after the first thing of contact. Eddie Spark to finally get him down. Here, let's watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th man got him down. 4 broken tackles just on that play. He was powering through that. He was just demolishing the New York defense. That was the 2nd best defense in the league he just powered through. 1st and 10 now. Seth's guys. Oh, a little bit of a revenge there for that defense, as that's minus yards on that play. 2nd tackle for a loss for Smith. Ronaldo Smith getting 2nd tackle for a loss. As I was going to say, let's go back to that last play where Castles had that big run. This guy isn't even on the MVP race. He was taken over by his quarterback, but he's got to be like 11, 12, or 13th if there was that spot. And he's definitely there. So, MVP race people, don't count this guy out on any means. 2nd and 13. Skies hands it off to Castles again. He's got a lot of carries early. Oh, Castles breaks a man! Touchdown, Musicians! Bum-ba-da-ba! Oh, shoot, that was wrong. But touchdown to Musicians, is I'm not going to do that again. Owen Castles jukes out. That's nice blocking, and then a good juke by Castles, and there's open space in front of him. As the Musicians get a nice touchdown there as he jukes out the defenders. And he gets a touchdown, and the Musicians are on the board. As they get the first points of the game. Last week, not even getting a touchdown, but here is their touchdown they wanted last week, but couldn't get. As the PAT team comes on now. And the PAT is up, and it is good. 5 plays, 49 yards, and 2 minutes and 9 seconds on that drive for New Orleans. As the Musicians get a touchdown early here in the first. Not early in the first, early in the game, in the first quarter. But you get the drift. Now let's see if New York can do anything after throwing the interception. That's how this New Orleans drive started, with the interception by, I think it's Garrett McWilliams, but I don't know. He's not high overall, so I don't really know him. But that was a good capitalizing on the interception by the Musicians. Let's see if the Businessmen can do anything now. It will be taken in the end zone, and they're going to take it out past the 20 and up to the 23, they're going to call it. As now the Businessmen come back out, and I'm just going to tell you the offensive people for the Businessmen, the top 2. The offensive people, Carl Carroll's leads. No, Sam Johnson leads, and I already read you his stats, and then Carl Carroll's is the second in command, and I read you his stats. But here we have 1st and 10, and I didn't see. Dominic Triva goes back a yard. No, let's just see. Tyron McDermott, the left outside linebacker, to get the tackle. As you can see the replay, and he broke one tackle, just couldn't get really far. And then after this play, we'll look at the New Orleans defense, which is the 9th best in the league. Which, with their overalls, I wouldn't think so. 2nd and 11 now for the Businessmen. Carroll's throwing, caught. That's a nice catch by the Businessmen. And then more specifically, Sam Johnson. He has 16 yards on that play. And Donald Robertson, the second the third string corner to bring him down. Don't know why he was on Sam Johnson. But he was on him quick, so. But good play by the businessmen. But the defense for New Orleans, number one in charge. Vince Payne, 22 solo tackles, 14 assists, 4 tackles for a loss, and 4.5 sacks. And here we have a 1st and 10 by the businessmen. Carroll's run out of time. He finally goes to the ground as he's sacked. Vince Payton, as I just talked about, gets in there, and that would be his 5.5 sack on the year. As he, in recent games, has shown up on the defensive side. Wasn't really known in the first couple games, but here he comes during this part of the season. Hopefully, to run out strong the rest of the season. But the rest of the defense is, second in command is Tyron McDermott, 16 solo tackles, 16 assists, 9 tackles for a loss, and 4.5 sacks. 2nd and 20 now for the businessmen as he went back. Carroll's got sacked for 10 yards. It's a run as they try to get some of the yardage back. Only 1 yard for flat. 3 rushes, 3 yards for Evan Flats. And there's not much to work with there. In offensive line, the businessmen have the 10th out of 12, so that's not a very good one. 3rd and 18 now for the businessmen as they need to get big play here by Carroll's throwing almost sacked, but tries the halfback screen and that's swallowed up by the musicians. Travi goes back 4 yards on the play. As for the sacks on the musician side, they're 3rd and getting to the quarterback for sacks. So that's one of that's top 3. So that's pretty good as the O-line will have a definite challenge in this game. And the businessmen for getting sacks, they're 4th best. So they're 2 good teams that get into the quarterback. But we have 4th and 22 as the punt will be taken at the 16. And they get it up to the 19. This here comes back out to Skies after the touch. Down drive his guys had. But we have the end of the first quarter. New York businessmen 0. New Orleans musicians 7. I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to try to... Don't even know. But we have 1st and 10. Owen Castles gets up to the 21 for a 2-yard gain. 6 rushes, 35 yards, and 1 touchdown for Owen Castles right now. We forgot. But we have a 2nd and 8 now for Seth Skies and company. Seth Skies, fake handoff to Castles, launching downfield. Ooh, that's a flag. That's pass interference by the defense. Yes, it is Kevin Trolls, the 3rd string corner, to get that pass interference. And now they're at their own 49, so that's a big change of field for the musicians as they get it out on this 1st and 10 for 6 yards, 7 actually, to Carlton Fernandez. Ronaldo Smith to get him down on that play. 2 big plays already going in the musicians' ways. The refs seem to be on their side right now. Second and 3 now for the musicians as it's a toss to the back as he goes nowhere on that play, swallowed up by the businessman as he goes back for 5 yards. Brady Garnett, the 2nd string corner, to bring him down as he just saw what they were about to do and he ran right through the tackles. As he runs through 3 people, no one even thought about grabbing him. He went right for the back. Because now we have a 3rd and 8. Let's see if the musicians can convert. Seth Guys will probably have to have the pressure on him, which he shows as he's in the MVP race he's fine with. He hasn't thrown an interception yet. 3rd and 8 now for Seth Guys. Might have jinxed him. No, but he's just going to go down. Eddie Stocks, the defensive tackle, to get in there for the sack this time. Stocks, I think that's his first sack of the season. Eddie Stocks, yes, that's his first sack of the season. And such guys didn't really have a lot of time. I mean, he had enough, but the offensive line just gave it up. Oh, I remember what I was going to talk about now. The O-line for both teams. The Musicians have the fourth best O-line, so that's going to be a challenge for New York, but they have the fourth best sack team, so evenly matched here, but did not look like that in that play. But now we have 4th and 15 for the Musicians, as they're going to punt. Put on the punt team, and the punt is away, as it will be taken. It will not be taken. It will bounce into the end zone, as the New York drive will be started at the 20. As we'll see what they can do here, as they have no points on the board yet in here early in the second. As they're hoping to change that here on this drive. But they have a little bit of ways to go, starting at their own 20. Here we have a fake handoff. Carroll's now in the backfield, maybe trying to make a run out of it, and he does. Gets 2 yards on that rush. As Carroll didn't see anyone open downfield, so he slid a little bit. Well, ran a little bit. New Orleans is only allowed 10 passing yards and 4 rushing yards from New York, so playing good defense early on here. Carroll's now on 2nd and 8. Gets the ball. Running out of time again. He's down. Vince Payne to tell him another bedtime story. So he gets his second sack of the night already here in the first half. As that is his 6.5 sack of the season. If they cannot tackle if they cannot keep Vince Payne off Carroll's, it's going to be a long night for the offensive line and Carroll's. As they're double teaming him with Corona, who has let the most sacks happen this season out of any, offensive lineman in the game. He let, if you don't remember, in the other primetime game against the Earthquake, he was the one that let all those sacks happen from Merle Lemus. But he's not in bad overall at all. But 30-17, Carroll's running out of time. The offensive line, he gets it off. It's caught! Sideline catch. As that's a great catch, and it's first down for the Businessmen. Trey Jackson to get a 21-yard reception for a second of the night. But what great blocking, as he almost got sacked there, but Trey Jackson looking down deep for him. Waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and his offensive line held up. Yeah, Aaron Corona isn't even that bad of an overall, so it's like 84 or something. Here you have a run on 1st and 10, as he gets some nice yards. Evan Flatt's plowing for a gain of 7. As Donald Robinson, second overall cornerback, to take him down on that one. As here we have a 2nd and 3 for the New York offense. See what they can do here as they're starting to get some yardage. It's another handoff as he almost gets the first down. Evan Flatts is showing some pretty good run game right here as he have a 3rd and inches. So they go with Evan Flatts, who got to this spot, or do they go with Carl Carroll's in the air, who got the big 3rd down conversion? It's a pickle here, but New Orleans could defend either way. We'll see what happens here on 3rd and inches. They go with Carroll's. A little read option. But that's not going to get there. I don't think they're going to count it. No, it's 4th and inches. McWilliams, the guy who got the interception, to get the tackle. Most of New Orleans was tricked there, but Carroll's did a little cutback, and I think that's what screwed him over there. As now it's 4th and inches. As good tackling by McWilliams, not letting him get the yards. But will they go for it, or will they send on the punt team? I would say go for it, but they're going to send on the punt team. Could be a fake, though. 4th and inches. The punt is going to go, and it's going to be away. It's going to be hit in the end zone, as Now New Orleans will start from the 20. So Seth Skies and company have another shot to see what they can do. But here comes out New Orleans as they're trying to get some more points on the board as they're already up by a touchdown in this pretty low scoring game so far. But we still have a lot of football to play here in New Orleans, so we'll see what happens. Seth Skies hands it off to Castles as he gets 2 yards on the gain. 8 rushes, 32 yards for Castles right now. As Spark gets in there for a tackle. As we have 2nd and 8 now. As time is winding down in the second quarter. But there's enough to get a good drive in. Good long drive one. Skies on 2nd and 8. As he throws it right before he gets sacked, and they're not going to count that. He caught it out of bounds. 5 for 10 and 24 yards for Skies right now. As he goes nowhere on that play, and now we have a 3rd and 8. Another 3rd down forced by the businessmen. New Orleans not the best on converting these right now, but we'll see what they can do here. 10 rush, 10 pass from New Orleans is evenly spread across the board so far. Skies throwing downfield deep. Oh, it's intercepted. It's first of the season. Out of the hands of the receivers and goes into Ronaldo Smith's hands. As that's his 2nd interception